Welcome in to the Rock Talk Studio, where I find you that next great rock and roll book or documentary to check out. This is the podcast that reviews, previews, and most importantly, recommends to you the good stuff. I'm your host, Big Rick. Let's plug in. And today, the spotlight falls on the documentary Bono, Stories of Surrender. It's artsy, it's gutsy, it's confessional, it's raw, and it's just spectacular. What an amazing piece of work. Bono did a book tour to support his memoir, Surrender, 40 Songs, One Story in 2022. It was a one-man show where he took moments from his book and then acted them out. And this documentary was filmed at one of the shows at the Beacon Theater in New York City. And what Bono presented is totally without a safety net. He took his personal memories of his dad, his mom, his wife, his bandmates, and he just laid them out there naked for all to see. And he did it with a dramatic flair that left me pretty much speechless after I was watching this. The documentary is delivered with a very stripped down presentation. The stage has a table and 5 chairs. The lighting is sparse, and the camera angles and editing is edgy. Director Andrew Dominic filmed this in black and white, and I thought that was a great touch. It really added just another gritty layer to the ambiance, and it really contributed to the intimacy of the performance. They did a great job of framing Bono on stage. He's out there on that stage by himself, and you can really feel it. He's vulnerable, and he's ready and willing to process some long-standing issues. Bono really exposes himself here, and you just can't help but be drawn into it. And yes, you get to see the YouTube Bono, but you also get to see the son who lost his mother at 14, a son whose fathers forbid him to speak his mother's name ever again in the house. You also see a friend who loves his other 3 friends dearly, his best friends from high school, his bandmates. And then you get a grown man still struggling to come to terms and make sense of his time with his father who recently passed away. Bono was supported by frequent U2 collaborator Jackknife Lee, who brings cellist Kate Ellis and harpist Gemma Doherty along. The 3 of them really add a nice layer to this. They serve as the backing band for this very stripped down version of songs that Bono does, and he uses them in the doc to really punctuate his emotions. And the songs really work here in this format. Sunday Bloody Sunday, Vertigo, Desire, Beautiful Day, to name a few. The songs were just able to take his thoughts and elevate them out over the crowd. Bono, no doubt, is every inch the showman, and the chances of him going on just an average book signing tour were slim. You know he was going to do something, and this performance really fits his personality, and he delivers on the highest level. I can't recommend this documentary enough. Don't miss it. Even if you're not a U2 fan, I challenge all non-U2 fans to watch this and tell me that you're not moved. No way. If you love rock and roll or you just love music in general, this is a tremendous testimony to the power of music. It's captivating and very moving. Bono, Stories of Surrender is an 86-minute film, and it's directed by Andrew Dominic. I also wanted to add this to this conversation. If you do watch this and you were moved and want more, go pick up Bono's memoir. I reviewed it back when it came out. Loved it. It's episode 17 in the archives if you want to go way back in the archives and check it out. It was back during the first version of how I did this show. It's a big book, 557 pages, but it's well worth the time and investment. And if you really like this documentary, I think you're going to love the book. Coming up next, there is no way I can't address the elephant in the room. I do a running top 5 list of rock and roll books and docs every month. If you subscribe to my newsletter, the Rock Talk Studio Blast, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're new here, the top 5 is kind of a competition. It's like a power ranking of the year's best. And if you want to know more about the Blast, I'm going to speak about it in a few moments. I have a really great book I'm giving away to one of the subscribers. So the top 5 documentary lists, since it started up this year, it's been dominated by one band and by one documentary, and that was Becoming Led Zeppelin. Since the moment that thing came out, number 1. But as of this month, there's a new number 1, and it's this documentary right here, Bono, Stories of Surrender. So how the hell is it that it's better than Led Zeppelin? Come on. I mean, I know people have been already asking me that because the newsletter came out and it was already ranked number one over Led Zeppelin. I asked myself that a bunch too, and I finally came to terms with it, and I've got the answer for you coming up next. All right, let's get into it. Why do I consider Bono, Stories of Surrender, a better documentary than Becoming Led Zeppelin? Well, first off, I have to say the Led Zeppelin documentary is tremendous. It is powerful. It is awesome. I loved it so much, and I can't recommend that one enough. You've got to see that. If you haven't seen that one, go out and see it. It's amazing. So if I was to say on a scale of 1 to 10, where would I rank Led Zeppelin? I'd put it at 9.5. I mean, it was really that good. So the Bono doc, I would say, is 9.6. It really is that close. So what it really comes down to is the emotional component of the documentaries. I was really moved by the Zeppelin doc, the inclusion of the John Bono tape, and the way that the surviving members discussed their origin and the way that they reacted to each other and to that tape and hearing Bonham. That was great. It did bring some emotion to that documentary, but that documentary was more than that. It was more about the forming of the band, how that magic happened, how it all came together, and the music. It was just so powerful. Again, tremendous story, really cool, over-the-top performances, but this Bono doc is deeper. It just sparked a lot of emotion and a lot of thought. It is very clever in the way that it was shot. I guess it's just more of an artistic piece, and I enjoyed that side of it. So as far as the whole package goes, and as far as the experience when I'm watching it, I was just moved more than the Led Zeppelin doc. And I think that's it. I was just moved more by watching the Bono documentary. And again, it's so close, but to me, I'm going to go with the Bono doc. And here's the good thing about it is now we have 2 incredible documentaries so far this year, and we're only halfway through 2025. It is book giveaway time. If you've been listening to this show, you know that I love to give away books, and I've given away a bunch. Rush at 50, Chris Stein's memoir, Robin Hitchcock's memoir, Mike Campbell's memoir, some great memoirs there. Buzz Me In, Inside the Record Plant Studio book. I've got another great one for you this month, and I'm going to tell you about that next. The next book I'm giving away is Guns N' Roses at 40. I just reviewed it last week on the podcast. You can check that out if you want to hear what it's all about. It's in the archives. Guns N' Roses at 40 is a retrospective. It looks at 40 iconic moments in the Guns' career. It's really well done. It's packaged beautifully. I mean, Motor Books, the publisher, does this right. They really get how to make kind of like a coffee table style book that's more than a coffee table style book. You've got great pictures, you got great visuals, you got great packaging, but the authors that contribute to their books always add an extra layer. So I'm giving away a copy of this Guns N' Roses at 40 book. How do you win? It's easy and it's free. I mentioned earlier about my newsletter. All you have to do to win a copy of the book is to send me an email at info@rocktalkstudio.com. I'll set you up for the newsletter, which again is free, comes out one time a month, and it's the last Friday of the month. It's an extension of what I do here. It just gives you more, and it gives you a place to go for when you're looking for news about rock and roll books and docs. Send me an email. I'll hook you up. Next week's episode, I'm going to do something I've never done on this podcast in 3 years. I'm going to review a book, a style of a book that I've never even thought about doing, that I've never even touched. And it's a book that really surprised me, and I'm really glad that I did it. I'll tell you all about it in next week's show. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Love talking rock and roll, especially when I can talk about a new documentary. 2025 has been a little slow in the doc world, so a lot of great new docs out. Very excited about that. All right, let's tear it down, pack it up, and head on down the road. I'll catch you next time in the Rock Talk Studio.